At 3:47 a.m. local time on August 15, 2025, the night sky over Russia's Volgograd region remained deceptively calm, punctuated only by the distant hum of industrial machinery at the Lukoil refinery, one of the country's largest oil processing facilities, churning out 14.8 million tons of petroleum products annually. Security patrols scanned the perimeter, radar systems swept for aerial threats, and electronic warfare jammers blanketed the area to disrupt any incoming signals. This was no ordinary refinery, it was a linchpin in Russia's vast energy empire, fueling military vehicles, aircraft, and the economic machine that bankrolled Moscow's ongoing invasion of Ukraine. Then, without warning, a low whine pierced the silence, not the roar of missiles or jets, but the subtle buzz of propellers from an unassuming unmanned aerial vehicle diving toward its target. Seconds later, explosions ripped through fuel storage tanks, igniting a massive inferno that lit up the horizon like a false dawn. Fireballs erupted, secondary blasts echoed across the landscape, and thick black smoke billowed into the air, visible for miles. This wasn't a high-stakes aerial bombardment or a commando raid, it was the work of a single Ukrainian long-range drone, costing around $50,000, that had traveled over 1,000 kilometers undetected to strike at the heart of Russia's oil infrastructure. The central question reverberating through global military analysts, energy markets, and Kremlin corridors: how did Ukraine's affordable drones cripple vast swaths of Russia's oil empire without facing insurmountable defenses? Spoiler: by targeting fuel, the lifeblood of modern warfare, Ukraine didn't just inflict damage, it accelerated the erosion of a $60 billion-plus revenue stream critical to sustaining Russia's war machine. In the pages that follow, we'll unpack how these AI-guided, long-range drones bypassed radar nets and jamming fields, why oil refineries represent Russia's Achilles heel, and the asymmetric doctrine reshaping warfare. This isn't mere disruption, it's a calculated strategy to kill the fuel and break the war, proving that in 2025, battles are won not by brute force, but by precision, reach, and economic strangulation. Did you know that a $50,000 drone can now neutralize assets worth millions, forcing ripple effects that shave billions off an adversary's GDP? In just the first half of 2025, Ukrainian strikes on Russian energy targets inflicted over $10 billion in direct damage, escalating to estimates of $74.1 billion by mid-August, equivalent to 4.11% of Russia's annual GDP. Russia never saw the full swarm coming, but the implications are clear. Underwater and aerial domains were once Ukraine's playgrounds for innovation. Now, the skies over Russia's heartland are contested territory. What you're about to explore isn't recycled news footage or official spin, it's a deep dive into the stealth tactics, drone technology, and psychological warfare behind Ukraine's campaign against Russia's oil juggernaut. Forget sensational headlines, this is a breakdown of physics, strategy, and real-time evolution in conflict, tailored for those who demand more than surface-level reports. To grasp the magnitude, let's rewind to that Volgograd strike and similar operations in August 2025. The Lukoil refinery, sprawled across hundreds of acres in southern Russia, processes crude into gasoline, diesel, and aviation fuel essential for powering tanks, jets, and logistics trucks in the ongoing war. On that fateful night, Ukrainian intelligence sources later confirmed, a Luty Fierce drone, Ukraine's flagship long-range unmanned aerial vehicle, UAV, launched from a covert site hundreds of kilometers away, navigated autonomously using inertial guidance and AI-assisted terrain mapping to evade detection. As it approached, Russian air defenses activated, but the drone's low-altitude flight path, under 100 meters, and composite materials rendered it nearly invisible to radar. Upon impact, its 200-kilogram explosive payload detonated amid storage tanks, sparking fires that raged for hours and halting operations at the facility. No full collapse occurred, but the damage was surgical. Production capacity dropped by an estimated 50%, contributing to a broader 3-week blitz that idled 13.5% of Russia's total refining output. If a $50,000 drone can deliver such a blow to a facility underpinning a $60 billion empire, Russia's oil revenues alone exceeded $300 billion annually pre-war, with targeted losses mounting. What might 10,000 of them achieve against a superpower showing signs of economic strain? Quick thought experiment: could this drone doctrine redefine energy security in global conflicts? As ex-users debated in real time following the Volgograd hit, opinions ranged from game-changer for asymmetric wars to concerns about escalation, with posts from around the world highlighting the strike's visibility via satellite imagery and local videos. The refineries aren't just industrial sites, they're icons of Russia's resource-driven power. The Volgograd plant, like others in Samara, Saratov, and Ryazan, links Moscow's extractive wealth to military might, processing crude from Siberian fields into fuels that sustain operations in Ukraine. But this symbolism makes them prime targets and heavily guarded ones. Russia's oil infrastructure spans vast territories, from Arctic rigs to Black Sea terminals, generating trillions in revenue since the invasion began. Yet, striking it poses immense challenges. Air defenses blanket key sites, S-400 systems with 400-kilometer ranges, Panzer S-1 for close protection, and electronic warfare like Krasuka-4 jammers that spoof GPS and disrupt communications. Past attempts such as sabotage or missile strikes faced interception or limited success due to these layers. Drones change the equation through physics and stealth, flying low and slow, under 200 km per hour, they exploit radar blind spots, while water-cooled engines minimize thermal signatures detectable by infrared sensors. GPS denial? No issue. Ukrainian drones switch to inertial navigation, blending gyroscopes and accelerometers with pre-mapped waypoints for blind flight. Currents of air or electronic interference? AI kernels adjust trajectories in real time, rerouting around threats. To Ukraine, this isn't random vandalism, it's a precision demonstration of guerrilla aerial warfare. Meet the Lutii drone, a fixed-wing UAV developed by Ukrainian firms like Ukroboronprom with private sector input. Roughly 3 meters long with a 4-meter wingspan, it's unassuming yet lethal, powered by a small piston engine for ranges up to 2,000 kilometers, a record set in August 2025 against a Lukoil plant in Komi Republic. It carries payloads of 50 to 300 kilograms of explosives. Cost? Around $50,000 per unit, far less than a Russian caliber missile's $1 million tag, thanks to off-the-shelf components like commercial GPS modules, Chinese batteries, and 3D printed frames. Variants include the Beaver for shorter hops and the AQ400 Scythe for swarm operations, but Lutii dominates deep strikes. No pilot risks, no live feeds, just autonomous logic pre-programmed via satellite imagery and intelligence feeds. Ukraine produces thousands monthly through a decentralized network of workshops, volunteers, and state incentives, scaling from zero in 2022 to over 6,000 annually by 2024, with 2025 projections exceeding 10,000. This isn't a kamikaze rush, it's a scalpel swarm. Drones launch in waves from mobile platforms, trucks, or fields, coordinated via encrypted apps and Starlink for targeting data. As they near, onboard sensors, cameras, magnetometers fine-tune approaches, latching onto tanks or pylons before detonation. Consider the August 2025 campaign. On August 2, drones hit Novokibishevsk, Rosneft, 8.3 million tons/year, and halved Ryazan's output, 6.9 million tons, cutting crude intake by 60%. August 11 brought Saratov, 5.8 million tons, ablaze, with evacuations and 1 fatality. By August 15, Volgograd and Samara, 8.5 million tons, joined the list, plus a Bryansk pumping station halting the Druzhba pipeline to Europe. Each strike, hours of flight, AI evasion, precise impacts. Fires raged, operations halted, and secondary explosions amplified chaos. Psychological shock? Immense. No total shutdowns, but cumulative damage forced lane closures, repairs, and rerouting. Gasoline prices surged 40 to 50% to records, 71,970 to 81,337 rubles/ton, straining civilians and military logistics. Exports dipped, benefiting importers like China but hurting Russia's coffers. This wasn't destruction for its own sake, it was demonstration. Underwater drones, once reserved for superpowers, are paralleled here in the air, democratized by Ukraine's ingenuity. Cheap tech outmaneuvers billion-dollar defenses, pressure trumps explosions. Russia's oil empire still pumps, but its resilience is fractured. If $50,000 yields billions in losses, imagine swarms reshaping empires. Broader context: Ukraine's drone war evolved from FPV rigs in 2022 to long-range strikes by 2024. Early 2025 saw 81 attacks on oil facilities, damaging 10 to 17% capacity. March alone, 5 sites hit in one night, including Ufa and Kursk. June, Engel's refinery torched. August's blitz escalated amid stalled fronts, diverting Russian resources. Russia's counters, export bans, reserves, limited to 5 days consumption, and enhanced defenses like nets and jammers.
Yet, drones adapt faster, with fiber optics resisting jamming.
Implications: global navies and armies watch Taiwan eyes similar tactics against China. Warfare shifts: reach over firepower, resilience via decentralization, reason through economic hits. Ukraine rewrote the rules, the world takes notes.